You ever get that feeling when your heart knows something before your mind is ready to believe it? Yeah, that's how it started for me. My name's Ryan Cooper. I'm 32, and I thought I had it all figured out. The dream job, a house in Los Angeles, and a wife who I believed was the definition of loyalty. Her name's Olivia. We met 4 years ago. She was spontaneous, full of life, the kind of woman who made you forget the world existed. I used to look at her and think, if love had a face, it looked like that. But here's the thing about love. It blinds you. It hides the cracks until one day they split wide open. It was a Thursday night. I came home late from work, exhausted but happy. I wanted to surprise her, maybe dinner, maybe a movie night like we used to do. But the house was quiet. Too quiet. I called her name. No answer. Then I noticed her phone on the counter, still glowing. One message notification. I don't know why I looked. Maybe curiosity, maybe instinct. It said, "Same place tonight? Daniel." My stomach dropped. I didn't recognize the number, but I knew the tone. Casual, confident, familiar. I told myself not to overthink it. Maybe it was a friend. Maybe nothing. But then I saw her, coming through the front door, hair slightly messy, perfume, stronger than usual. She smiled like nothing happened. "Hey, babe," she said. "Didn't know you'd be home early." I smiled back. "Yeah, thought I'd surprise you." She laughed softly. That's sweet. But her eyes, they didn't meet mine for more than a second. That night, after she fell asleep, I sat on the edge of the bed, just staring. My heart said something was wrong, but my mind, it kept making excuses for her. Until the next day. She said she was meeting her friend Mia for dinner. I didn't say anything. I just waited. And when she left, I called Mia. Mia sounded confused. "Dinner? No, Olivia said she was going out with you tonight." That was it. That was the moment I knew something was off. I didn't lose control. I didn't yell or cry. I just sat back, quiet. Because when a man truly loves someone, his silence is louder than any scream. That night, I texted my best friend Ethan, a private investigator. I said, "I need to know the truth." He replied, in 2 words, "You sure?" And I was. Because sometimes the truth hurts, but lies, they kill you slowly. I didn't know it then, but that message, that was the beginning of the loyalty test. When you start doubting the person you love, it feels like your soul begins to rot from the inside. I remember sitting in my car that night, hands gripping the steering wheel, wondering how I even got here. Just a few months ago, I was planning a vacation for Olivia's birthday. Italy, her dream spot. Now, I was planning how to find out if my wife was lying to me. Ethan called the next morning. He'd been my best friend since college. A quiet guy, sharp as hell. "Ryan," he said, "I'll handle this carefully. You don't want to ruin your peace unless you're ready for the truth." I laughed, but it sounded hollow. "Peace?" I said. I lost that the moment I read that text. Ethan didn't waste time. He had someone tell her discreetly. Meanwhile, I decided to play my part. Act normal. Pretend everything was fine. That was the hardest part, waking up next to her every morning, hearing her say "I love you" with a smile that used to melt me, and wondering if she was saying it to someone else when I wasn't around. A few days later, Ethan called. His voice was steady, professional, but I could hear something behind it. "Ryan, you might want to sit down." My heart started pounding. "Just say it." "She's been meeting a guy," he said slowly, "at a restaurant downtown. Same place. 3 times this week." I closed my eyes. "His name?" He hesitated. Daniel Hayes. The name hit me like a punch. Daniel, Olivia's ex, the same guy she told me was just a mistake from the past. That night, I didn't sleep. I just stared at the ceiling, replaying every moment we'd shared. Every smile, every hug, every whispered promise. All of it felt fake now. But I wasn't ready to explode. Not yet. I wanted to be sure. Because if you accuse someone you love, you better have more than just suspicion. The next evening, I told Olivia I had a late meeting. In reality, I parked my car across from that restaurant Ethan mentioned. It was raining. Not hard, but steady enough to blur the lights of the city. I waited. And then at 7:42 p.m., I saw her. Olivia stepped out of a cab, dressed in the blue coat I bought her for Christmas. She walked inside, smiling, and a few minutes later, Daniel walked in too. I could have stormed in, could have shouted, but I didn't. I just sat there watching the woman I loved laugh with another man, the same laugh she once saved just for me. It's strange how quiet betrayal sounds when you see it with your own eyes. I drove home that night with one decision in my mind. I wouldn't confront her yet. No yelling, no tears, no scene. I'd wait. And I'd test her loyalty one final time. Because if she truly loved me, I wanted her to prove it, even when she didn't know I already knew. The morning after I saw her with Daniel, Olivia woke up humming a tune. She looked at me, grinning. "You're up early," she said. "Yeah," I replied, smiling back. "Couldn't sleep much." She didn't notice the heaviness in my voice. Maybe she didn't care. She started talking about how her girls' night went, how Mia ordered the worst pasta ever. I just nodded. Funny thing, liars always add too many details. That day at work, I kept thinking about what to do next. Confronting her wouldn't fix anything. I wanted something deeper, clarity. I wanted to see if there was any part of the woman I married still left inside her. So I started the loyalty test. First step, distance. I stopped being available. No good morning texts, no I miss you calls during lunch, no late night talks. She noticed by day 3. "Ryan, are you okay?" she asked. "You seem off lately." I smiled gently. "Just tired, Liv. Lot on my plate." She nodded, pretending to believe it, but I saw it in her eyes. She felt the shift. A week passed. I started working late more often, spending more time in silence, less time chasing her affection. And then something unexpected happened. She started chasing me. Little gestures, making my favorite breakfast, texting me sweet things during the day, even trying to dress up more at home. It was confusing. Was it guilt? Or was she scared I found out? One night, she came to me and said softly, "Ryan, are we okay?" I looked at her for a long time. "You tell me," I said. Her eyes flickered, and for a second, she looked nervous. But then she smiled and said, "Of course we are. You're my world." She leaned in to kiss me, and though I kissed her back, inside, I felt nothing. Because sometimes you reach a point where love doesn't die, it just quietly stops breathing. The next step was harder. I told her my company was sending me on a business trip to Seattle for a week. In reality, I never left town. Ethan helped me set up a small camera in our living room, not to invade her privacy, but to see what she'd do when she thought I was gone. I stayed in a rented apartment nearby, checking the footage every night. For the first 2 days, everything seemed normal. She cooked, watched Netflix, even called me twice to say she missed me. Then on the 3rd night, Daniel showed up. He walked into my home like he belonged there. She didn't resist. They laughed, drank wine, and when she leaned her head on his shoulder, my heart just broke quietly. I paused the video halfway through. I didn't need to see more. That was the night I stopped being Ryan Cooper, the husband. I became Ryan Cooper, the man who finally accepted the truth. And once you accept it, The revenge isn't about hurting them. It's about reclaiming yourself. When you finally know the truth, you stop reacting. You start planning. I didn't cry that night. I didn't scream, didn't throw anything. I just sat there in silence, watching the rain hit the window of that rented apartment, realizing the woman I built my life around was gone long before I knew it. The next morning, I made a decision. I wasn't going to confront Olivia with anger. I wasn't going to give her the satisfaction of seeing me broken. If she wanted a performance, I'd give her one, but I'd control the stage. So, I went home like nothing happened. When she opened the door and saw me, her face lit up. "Ryan, you're back early." She ran into my arms like a woman who had nothing to hide. I hugged her back, pretending not to feel the disgust burning inside me. "Missed you too," I whispered. Over the next few days, I played my part perfectly. Smiled, talked, shared dinner, even complimented her. And all the while, she believed I was still the same man, the one who adored her blindly. But behind that calmness, I was already setting things in motion. I moved our savings into a separate account, my name only, transferred the house title back to me, and quietly contacted my lawyer to prepare the divorce papers. The night before I planned to confront her, she sat beside me, resting her head on my shoulder. "I missed you while you were gone," she said softly. I smiled faintly. Yeah, I could tell. She looked up. "What do you mean?" I turned to her, holding her gaze for the first time in weeks. "You know, it's funny," I said quietly. "I used to think loyalty was something that didn't need proof." She frowned. "Ryan, what are you talking about?" I reached for my phone and played the video. Just a few seconds. Her and Daniel laughing, her hand on his chest. Her face went pale. "Ryan, I can explain." That's when I stood up, calm as ever. "I'm not angry, Olivia. Honestly, I'm just done." Tears filled her eyes. "Please, it wasn't what it looked like." It was exactly what it looked like. My voice didn't rise. "You failed the test, the only one that mattered." She broke down, grabbing my hand, begging for forgiveness. But I didn't flinch. You can forgive someone for hurting you, but you can never respect them again after betrayal. I turned away, went upstairs, and started packing my things. By morning, I was gone. No goodbye letter, no dramatic ending, just silence, the kind that hurts more than any scream. In the weeks that followed, I rebuilt my life, piece by piece. Got back into work, hit the gym, spent time with people who genuinely cared about me. Olivia tried calling, texting, emailing. I never responded. Because sometimes, closure isn't about a conversation. It's about walking away quietly and never looking back. But fate wasn't done with us yet. 3 months later, I ran into her again at a business conference downtown. She froze when she saw me. I was no longer the man she remembered. Tired, quiet, broken. I was confident, focused, free. She whispered, "Ryan, you look different." I smiled. That's what honesty does to a man. You ever notice how people only value loyalty after they've destroyed it? That's what happened with Olivia. When I walked into that conference hall 3 months later, I wasn't the same man she betrayed. The pain had sharpened me, refined me. Every scar she left became armor I now wore proudly. She approached me during the break, her voice trembling. "Ryan, can we talk?" I nodded politely. "Sure." We stepped outside to the hotel terrace. The view of downtown Los Angeles stretched before us, bright, alive, distant. For a few seconds, neither of us spoke. Then she said softly, "You look happy." I smiled. "I am." She hesitated. "I'm glad. I've been thinking about us. Us, I echoed, amused. There is no us, Olivia. There's only what was. Her eyes welled up. I made a mistake. I was lonely, confused,